Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fall 2022 session, my session of Music 104, Rock Music History and Appreciation, which really should be called Pop Music History and Appreciation in some ways, but you'll learn that along the way and why it is what it is. So I want to welcome you to the class and set up things now. Most of what I'm going to tell you is in the materials as well. So could you get everything you need from there? Yeah, but a lot of students don't read it. And, I'm going to add some stuff that's important, but I'm going to go through all the things that you need to know to do well in the class. And that is ultimately my goal. I would love nothing more for you to all get A's. I say that every semester. And then I always follow it up with, but most people won't. Now, there's no reason why you couldn't all get A's. It's just that you all have to put the work in. But historically, that has not been the case. I did have one student on Rate My Professor say, I told everybody no one would get better than a C. I never said that. I said historically C's are averages, but that's not the case. You could all get A's if you want to do the work. So I'm going to let you know what you need to know. Last time I did this, it was 20 minutes. Let's see if I can bring this in under that. So I'm just going to go through the beginning of the syllabus and embellish on it a little bit, and then it'll overlap with some of what's in your assignment documents and all of that. There are a lot of great modules and there's a lot of great information in the beginning of this class that you want to go through. Take the time to go through. I'll tell you now, don't just click through this class. I know some students do it, and then their grades usually reflect that. I'm aware of how much time you should be putting in the class online plus reading. And so I'll know if you're just trying to fly through this. And then if you do that, then don't get upset if you don't get an A because you're just trying to fly through the work. So you'll see me kind of looking off to the side. I got a music stand over here with stuff, but I want to make sure that we get through everything. So first of all, this class is asynchronous. We do not meet at any specific time. Now, I will have a one-time meeting Monday night, August 22nd from 7 to 8. Hopefully you've all watched this by then, where I'm basically just going to be online through ConferZoom, which is Zoom, but you'll see the link to it off to the left here in Canvas. And it's just an open house. It's basically just if there's any questions you have or things you want to know, or you just want to check in and say hi, you're welcome to do that. It is not a requirement. You're not graded on it. It's not a big deal. So don't stress if you don't do it. I'll just have it open and you can pop in, say, hey, do whatever you want to do. But other than that, it's asynchronous, means that it's all on your time. Now, there are due dates, which I will get to, and there are times that certain assignments are due each week, and the rhythm of the class is basically the same every week. So it's not like I just open up the semester and let you have at it. Things lock and unlock, and there's a weekly, like I said, weekly rhythm to this. So there is a required textbook. I did send out an email already. Hopefully you all got that. If there's any late ads, maybe you didn't. There should actually be 2 emails by the time you watch this. And so there is a required textbook. A lot of the material is drawn from that. Material in the quizzes, materials in the discussions, material for your reflection observations. I'll know whether you're pulling from this. Now, I get students that are like, I'm not going to buy the book. I'm not going to spend any money. Look, you can rent the book. You can do whatever you want. This is the book that we use. Rock Music Styles, 8th edition by Katherine Charlton. This is the edition that I use. Can you use the 7th edition? Yeah, most of it's the same, not everything. Some things were taken out, some things were added, but you might be able to get away with it. I make no promises. But do not go older than the 7th edition for sure. And by now, the 8th edition has been around long enough that you can find it out there. But rent it, find a place, whether it's the college bookstore, Amazon, whatever. Find a place where you can rent it just for the ebook, not even the hard copy book. Rent the ebook. But I'll warn you, don't copy and paste from the ebook because I catch it and then you get zeros on assignments or kicked out of the class. And I don't want any of that. I want you all to do great, okay? So this is the book. You need the book to do well in this class. Materials are going to come straight from this. I'm going to know if you're reading the whole chapter by the way you answer certain assignments. So make sure that you do that. There is a suggested reading book, which is this book. It's a pop, rock, and soul reader. Not required. I would say, if you're really into rock history and you really dig on this stuff and pop history, American music particular, but there's, British stuff and other things in it, find this book, read it, keep it. It's got all sorts of great articles. I've read it. It's wonderful. It helps augment the things that you're going to learn in here, but it is not required. All right. This description is basically, we're going to learn the foundations that lead into rock and roll, which becomes rock. And we're basically then going to get up until really around the mid 80s is my goal. There's no way to cover. We start in mid 1800s. We go through kind of quick, but then we spend time on the blues and rhythm and blues, things that really we need to understand well, so that we can move into rock and roll, which is in the late 50s and then becomes rock. And so because of the time of that it takes to build that foundation, it really gets us to about the mid 80s. I try to get us to MTV, maybe a little bit, we spill over that, but not a whole lot. So if you're wanting to learn more about some of your favorite current bands, this isn't the class. Internet's great for that, and if they're your favorite bands, you probably already know a lot. And I have students that'll be like, I wish you would have spent more time on, I don't know, Arcade Fire. Well, Arcade Fire, we don't get that recent, so we don't really cover it. It's a band I like a lot. We don't really get into some of my other favorites as well, but that's okay. I mean, we can only do what we want. In a perfect world, I would make this a 2-semester course, and the first one would go to like 1970, and then the second one would go 70 to up. But we don't get that chance. So you can always fill in the holes. You can see all the books behind me. I actually have in one of the modules, I have all sorts of odds and ends, and one of them is my suggested reading list, where you'll see a lot of these books. First couple of book pages are shelves, sorry, not pages, are classical stuff, and then there's a ton of rock books, and then I still have CDs. So yeah, I'm an old guy, what can I say? So we're gonna learn about going all the way through from folk music and ragtime and jazz all the way through till there. The requirements. So the requirements is pretty simple and straightforward. And like I said, the weeks are all pretty much the same. There's a similar rhythm to it. On Monday mornings at 8 o'clock, you're going to have a welcome to the week video assignment. So it's going to be kind of like this, where I'm going to set up the context of the week. Don't think of it so much as a lecture, because I really want you to go through the materials, both the book and the online materials, which are different. So I'm just going to set up the framework, any context that's important. But as you go through that, random questions are going to pop up. There's typically 5 questions in every one of the Welcome to the Week videos, and they are generally related to something I said in the video. So it's important, and there's good information that comes out of those, but it's also a way to let me know that you've watched this. And I've had students that have not gotten perfect grades on this, and what that means is they're just trying to skip through it. Don't do this. You're going to hear me say a number of things throughout this class. One of them is that nothing exists in a vacuum. So there's nothing out there that just sort of showed up one day with no precedent, and there it was. Everything has influences. Everything comes from everything, from other things. And the music that we're going to listen to is a product of the time. Okay, so of its time. So it helps you to understand this. This is a history class. So if you're like, I hate history, well, you're in a history class. The good thing is there's music in the history class. So that's a great thing. You can listen to bands, you can listen to songs. By the way, I don't know that I have this right in there. I really should add this on as well. But make sure that you're listening to the playlists for each chapter. So my recommendation is when the week opens up, you do your Welcome to the Week assignment. Now, nothing else unlocks until you finish that assignment. So my suggestion is to get to that ASAP, ideally by Monday, certainly no later than Tuesday. Don't try to push it off, because your first assignment, this assignment, by the way, the Welcome to the Week assignments, those are always due at noon on Thursday. Your initial discussion post is always due by the end of the day on Thursday, and it's based on material that you're learning. So it's important that you get this rhythm. Then everything else will be due on Sundays. So my suggestion is do your video assignment. That unlocks the other things that you need. So your chapter materials will unlock once you've completed that. And then on Tuesday morning is when when the assignments module will unlock, and you'll have to have gotten through the welcome assignment and the other assignments. And the the materials in order to get to those. Okay, so there's a logic to this, and I do this to help you maintain a good pace in the class, because that's important. People that tend to cram tend to do poorly. It's just the way that it is. Okay, so you unlock it, you go into your first thing, there's a Spotify playlist right there. So you're gonna need Spotify, and that's in your stuff. If you don't have a Spotify account, sign up for one. You can get Spotify for free, so don't worry about that, but you will need it for the playlists and for some of your tests. So you will need that. Personally, I highly recommend the paid version of Spotify. One, no ads, which are annoying, but two, more importantly, and a lot of my friends are musicians get paid better on the paid version. Their royalties are a bit higher. So I highly recommend doing that. Spotify has a great family plan, so the family can get it, and then you can go from there. Okay, so you're gonna watch the announcement video, you're gonna listen to the music, you're gonna do the reading, you're gonna take quizzes. Every chapter has a quiz, so there's 20 quizzes. Every week you're gonna have a discussion based on a prompt that I give you. Every week you're gonna have a reflection observation based on a prompt that I give you. And just a heads up, when you answer that, put the answer at the top, the prompt at the top. It says in the instructions, copy and paste the prompt on the top. So do that, okay? It'll help you. I do that for you, not for me, because it gives you one more chance to read what I'm asking you to do, so that we know that you understand it correctly and you answer it correctly, so you can get a good grade on it. Now, real quick about that. There is a lot of, misunderstanding out there, that a lot of people feel like, hey, I did the minimum assignment, I did what needed to be done, that should be an A. No. If you did the minimum required assignment, that's a C. That's average. If you want to earn a B or an A on an assignment, which I use all points, but you know what I mean, you got to go extra work. So in the reflection observation, there's a 250 word minimum. If you do 250 words minimum and you kind of just hit the basics, you'll get a C, right? You'll get a 70 or whatever out of it, 70%. You want to get a B or an A, put the effort in, go the extra mile, do not plagiarize. Plagiarism, taking somebody else's work and claiming it as your own, will get you in a 0 on an assignment the first time. The second time, you get kicked out of the class and reported to the college, okay? I don't want to do that, and that does follow you. So you don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. Do good work, do honest work, okay? And then you're gonna have to do a concert report. Now, because we keep coming in and out of COVID and things are shifting, I don't feel confident yet to go back to in-person concerts as a requirement. So right now, I am still keeping it that you're gonna watch a video and then write on the video. And that's the only option at this point. I'm trying to keep it fair and equitable for everybody. Okay, so you're gonna watch a video. I give you a list of some places to start, but you don't have to pick them. If you're not sure though, reach out to me first. No classical, no jazz, no DJs, no tribute bands, okay? But, other than that, pop, rock, I think I put pop, rock, rap, country, I keep kind of, but you can do reggae, you can do other things, that's fine. You can, and by the way, that can be turned in, once I go live on that, you can turn that in at any time. So, if you're one of those overachievers, you can get it done early, and then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress about it, okay? The class is roughly divided into 3 sections, and at the end of each section, you're gonna have a larger test that's drawing from the quizzes and from other material, plus there will be listening tests. And that will be tied to, you want the Spotify for that. And it won't be like, what's the title of this song? Because you'll see that, because it's a Spotify song. So it'll be questions on how it relates to the materials. The quizzes are important, the tests are important, but I really want to know what you're learning, and that's where those written assignments come in, and those discussions. I try to engage you. The first discussion is really easy because it's just you telling me and the class about who you are and what you like musically and all that sort of stuff. There are also a couple of extra credit questions in there, and I highly recommend, or assignments, I recommend doing those. They're pretty easy and straightforward. So I recommend that you get those done. And just earn the easy points, because you don't want to be at the end and be 13 points away from the next grade and go, man, if I'd have done that assignment, I would have been there. Okay, so that is that. You'll have your syllabus, you'll have everything that you need to know, and the thing about this class again is remember that the music is a product of its time. And so you're going to learn about all sorts of interesting things. You're going to learn about the role of race in American popular music, and it's around. You're going to eventually learn about the civil rights movement, and you're going to see that we are dealing with issues today that they were dealing with in the 60s that have not been resolved, and they were dealing with in the 1920s, and they were dealing with in the 1860s. So yeah, I'm going to go into more material when we get into the first week, which is the orientation, but that gives you the basics. If you need, for any reason, to reach out to me, you please do so. The best way to do that is within Canvas. So message me in Canvas. It's better than just sending me an email, because I can get that. And I get an email notification, but I'd rather you do it within Canvas because I can stay in that environment. I can keep the communications in that environment. I have recently started a new job that will, I work full time for 10 years. I managed a venue. Now I am a booking agent, and so there was some traveling that may impact sort of the speediness of some of my replies, but I generally am back to everybody. I always say within 24 hours. The truth is I'm back to most people within an hour or two, but it just kind of depends on what day and time you catch me. If you message me at 1 o'clock in the morning, yeah, I'm not getting back to you in an hour. I'll get back to you the next day. But I think that's it. So I'm excited for the class. I'm excited that you're here. I want you to do well. I feel like we're moving forward in this whole COVID thing, and that one of these days, before we know it, we'll be able to look, behind us and put it to bed. I hope. And so that's where we're at. But you're here. Make sure you have the book. Make sure you do the work. Make sure you discipline your time. Make sure you go through the welcome materials and the orientation materials, and take them to heart, because you'll do well. And there's things in there that will benefit you in all of your classes and just in your professional life. So that's it. I did it. I came in under 20 minutes. Talk to you soon. Bye.